Hey guys, it's Kip here from KDC Marketing, and in today's video, I want to talk about a new feature that Wix Studio just released where you can now duplicate your CMS collection. So I'm going to show you how this works and just walk through it in case you want to use it. I think it can save you some time when it comes to creating new collections. So inside of CMS, I have a collection here. These are my different types of collections, but I'm going to go ahead and open up this services collection. And you can see I have some fields in here for the different services. And let's say that I wanted to create another services collection that had the same exact structure, the same exact fields and settings that this collection has. So I'm going to go over here to more actions. And then once I click this drop down at the very bottom, there's this duplicate collection option. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then this prompt will come up and it's just explaining to me here how this actually works. So all the fields, settings, and permissions get copied to the new collection. But what does not get copied is the content. So the actual content inside of each of the items. But you can copy and paste from the original to duplicate the content. So I'm going to go ahead and do this just to show you what it looks like when you duplicate a collection and then how you could copy that content over. So I'm just going to call this services duplicate. Then I'm going to click duplicate collection and it's going to start duplicating. So this is my new collection, and as you can see, it carried over all the fields, but no content, no actual items. And if I had specific collection settings, then it carried these over as well. And I did have specific collection settings enabled on this one. I had the control item visibility and the default status for new items set to hidden. So all of that passed over into my new collection. Now I just need to go in and add the content. So this is great. If I want to start from scratch, I can add a new item here and add something to fill this collection, or I can go into my services collection, the original, and I can start copying this content. So I'm going to copy just the first 4 or 5 fields here. I just clicked and dragged over that content and then copied it with a keyboard shortcut. And now I'm going to paste it in, and you can see I started to have content here inside of my collection. Then I'm going to go back to my collection here, and I'm going to get the rest of the fields. So the reason that I am doing it this way is because I just want to make sure that this image field passes over correctly and that everything passes over in the right spot. So you could do all of it in one copy and paste, but some of my fields were out of order. So for example, in my original collection, if we go look at this inside of my services, you can see that it goes image, book now, and then order. So I'm going to copy these two because the next ones should be book now and then order. So as long as those are the same inside of my duplicate, then it should work. So the book now should actually be before the order. So now all of that can be pasted in. So there's a little bit of nuance to the duplicate. It's not perfect. So I have to check the order there to make sure everything's good. But now I have essentially duplicated my collection. And this is much easier, in my opinion, than starting from scratch because all the settings pass over, all the same fields pass over, and then I just have to duplicate the content that I want. And in some cases, I might want all of the content. In some cases, I might want some of the content. And in some cases, I might just want the framework of the collection and I want to add new content to it. So that's why the duplicate content, the duplicate collections feature gives you those options. So one thing I do want to point out is you can see here that in my original collection, everything is set to visible. That's because it's live on the website. And we have these additional fields here, the services title and the services all, and a few other fields over here on the end. So the reason these are here, but they're not in my other collection is because these are actually tied to dynamic pages. I have a dynamic list page, which is right here. And then I have a dynamic item page, which is the specific item page inside of my collection. So these are tied to those live pages on the site right now. And that's why they're in this collection, but not in the other collection. So I could do the same thing with this new duplicate collection that I created. I could tie this collection to a dynamic list page and a dynamic item page. And if I were to do that, then those fields would show up. So that's also not passed over because it's specific to that collection and it's tied to those dynamic pages already on the website. So if you want to connect this collection to those dynamic pages, you can do that as well. You just have to do it again, and it will create a new list page for this collection and new dynamic item pages that are specific to this collection, which is exactly how it should work. So just wanted to show you how you can do that. Again, to do the duplicate, you just go into your collection and then you click the more actions and you click duplicate collection down here at the bottom. You can also get to it from these three dots here inside of the CMS landing page. So you just have to click on the three dots and then you can go to duplicate collection, and that's also how you can do it there. And I see this as a good benefit. It can save some time. It would be kind of cool if it copied over all of the content as well, but I can see for obvious reasons why you might want that to be done in a copy and paste scenario instead of copying all the content over. So just wanted to showcase that new feature. It's live for Wix Studio, and that's how it works. That's what it looks like. That's where to find it, and that's how you can use it. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next video.